Hi book friends, I'm Erin, and this is Charlotte, and this is Erin Go Read. Today Charlie's going to help me with my June TBR, and there are several read-alongs / read-a-thons going on in the month of June. I'm going to be participating in a few, but first I'm going to start off with the books that I'm currently reading that I won't have finished by June 1st. So the first is Gulliver's Travels by Jonathan Swift. I've been reading this book for forever. I have it tabbed out. I've kind of been at least trying to make it to those tabs. I'm not necessarily reading it every day. I am enjoying it. It's just that when I'm reading it, it's a bit laborious to read compared to a more modern book. This was written in 1725, excuse me. And I'm just not thrilled. No, thank you. I'm just not thrilled to get back to it. And so it's just taking me a bit to get to it. Let's give the baby something to play with. Do you want to work on your grip? Here, what's that? Ooh. She ended up waking up early from her nap. So we'll see how this goes. Anyway, so I do want to finish Gulliver's Travels. If it wasn't such a classic and such an old book, it's also on the Great American Read List, I probably would DNF it. But I'm enjoying it enough, and it's an important enough book that I would like to continue on with it. Just recently when I read the Poisonwood Bible, there was a reference to it, and Rachel, the older daughter in this story, is always kind of getting things wrong, mixing up sayings and saying, basically she'll use a big word but use the wrong big word or say it incorrectly. And she mentioned Gulliver's Lilliputians, but she didn't say Lilliputians. And if I hadn't had already been reading this book, I might not have known that was one of those that was one of the things that she got wrong. So anyway, this should be, I would imagine I'm going to finish this. I want to plan to finish this within the first week. Okay, I'm also big chunkster. I just started Gone with the Wind, and it's so big and heavy. I'm only reading this book at home, and it's like almost 1,000 pages, I think, and I mean, it's really hard to hold with one hand. So I'm really enjoying this, and I'm currently listening to the audiobook of The Help, and I'm about halfway through The Help, and there's already been 3 references to Gone with the Wind, so it's kind of nice timing there. And I'm going to read that, I'm not going to breeze through it, just as fast or as long as it takes me to finish it. I just want to enjoy that one. I am also currently reading The Island of Sea Women by Lisa C. And this is about, there's an island on, I'm not sure if it's an island or just part of the coastline in South Korea, where the community is much more matriarchal instead of patriarchal. And I'd seen this mentioned on either Bizarre Foods with Andrew Zimmern or I'm blanking on Anthony Bourdain's show, one of Anthony Bourdain's travel shows. And these women dive under the sea, and they have incredible lung capacity and swimming skill and diving skill, and they go and they collect abalone and various, seafood delicacies, and that's how they live their lives. And they are the breadwinners in their families. And so this is a story about this, and this was recommended by Russell at Ink and Paper blog. You know what? I can't remember if he's read it yet or if he just hauled it. I'm not sure, but I'm really enjoying this. I'm not real far into it, but it's a good start. It's a lot about relationships between women and mothers and daughters and all that. So I'm really enjoying that. And then the last book that I'm reading at the moment is a nonfiction. This is The Inflamed Mind by Edward Bullmore. I'm not very far into this one yet. He's kind of still setting up the premise. I'm going to put that down because of the white balance. He's basically setting up the premise for his argument and finding times where there's a trauma or some source of inflammation and the impact that has on your mood and behavior. And so he's used animal studies where they've experimented on this. He's also using more anecdotal evidence of even okay, you got your wisdom teeth taken out and you're in pain. You have inflammation in your mouth from that. And he was relating a time when that happened to him, and he just felt moody and grumpy and not himself. And so that was part of how he started to kind of put this together and thinking, is there something to this? Does inflammation in our body affect our mind? And he is postulating that it does, and so the rest of the book will be more about that, I assume. Okay, so now we get into the books that I have not started, and these are books that are related to the readathon / read-alongs. So, we have, Completely Melanie is hosting with Codie at Codie's Book Corner, the Summertime Reads Readathon, and this is all about reading summary books. So the only book that I'm going to really focus on reading for that one is going to be the group book, and this is Summer of Salt by Katrina Leno. This is... Let me get that. There we go. This is not my typical read. It's more, I think it might be YA. It's about, it features two sisters experiencing a summer together. And, oh, that's nice. The baby has their microphone. How long's that been going on? Thank you. Okay, let's try this again. There's now slobber all over my microphone. So let's hope that that doesn't affect the sound. Charlie's got a bottle now. All right, so Summer of Salt by Katrina Leno is the group pick for the Summer Reads Readathon, and this is two twin sisters. One, I guess, has magic already, and the other hasn't developed the gift for magic yet, and it's some sort of summer legendary adventure type thing. I kind of want to go into it a little bit blind. It just seems like a fun summer romp kind of thing, so it should be fun to get to. And the Summer Readathon dates are June 21st to June 30th. Maybe she'll fall asleep during the video. Wouldn't that be sweet? There you go. Oh, I need my hand. I need my hand. You hold it. Hold your bottle. There you go. Okay. All right. Kayla at Books and Lala is doing Buzzwordathon round 4, and this time it's featuring the word you or any version of the word you, your. And I'm going to read nonfiction Feeding You Lies by Vani Hari. And this is about basically the tactics that the food industry uses to feed us lies, to make money, to profit on our poor health, essentially, and our addiction to their food. And I heard her on, I think it was the Model Health podcast with Sean Stevenson. If you're looking for a wellness-related podcast, definitely check out the Model Health show. And then a new channel that I just discovered, like yesterday maybe, is Sarah at Commas and Ampersands. And first of all, that's a really cool booktube title. And she's doing the Blessed Be the Readathon. And this is inspired by The Handmaid's Tale, which I haven't been watching. I read the book like last summer, about a year ago. And I haven't been watching the show. I did watch Alias Grace, but I haven't watched The Handmaid's Tale. And I guess the 3rd season is coming out soon. And then I can't remember the name of it, but the sequel or companion book to Handmaid's Tale is coming out very soon, I believe. So Blessed Be the Readathon is inspired by The Handmaid's Tale. And she has 10 prompts. I'm only going to just kind of loosely follow and pick the ones that are books that I feel like I would like to read right now. And the Blessed Be the Readathon runs from June 3rd to June 16th. And I'm going to read, well, first of all, Feeding You Lies counts for the prompt a red spine or a red cover. So like half the spine there is red. And then one of the prompts is a book adaptation, adapted to TV, and I have Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn, and this was actually, this was the one that she chose in her TBR, and I was like, oh, that's a good idea, I want to get to that. I read Gone Girl and enjoyed it, and I've heard that the adaptation of this was really good as well. And it's summer, so it seems like a good time for a thriller. The other prompt of hers I'm going to follow is a book that's outside of your comfort zone. And I have two, so I don't know if I'll read both of these, but I would like to read one of these. One is on the Great American Reads list, and so I will read this eventually, and that is The Sun Also Rises by Ernest Hemingway. This is number 65 on the Great American Read list. I read The Old Man and the Sea when I was like 20-ish. It's a super short book, and I think it took me forever to read it, which is silly, but oh no, we dropped the bottle. What are we doing? Yeah, I just feel like Hemingway is more highbrow than I am, and so I'm a little bit intimidated by it. So The Sun Also Rises. And another book on that kind of intimidates me outside of my comfort zone. I've never read any Virginia Woolf, and I have Orlando by Virginia Woolf. So I don't know if this is a great place to start or not. This is just the one that I have. I like collecting these Penguin Modern Library Classic editions, or Modern Classic editions. And I guess this one was on sale or whatever, and so this was the first Virginia Woolf that I have picked up or purchased. I just haven't actually picked it up to read it yet, so we'll see about that. And then finally, what I'm really excited about is, the final one that I have an actual book for. Andrea from Infinite Text and Claudia at Spinster's Library are co-hosting a read-along of my favorite book, Pillars of the Earth by Ken Follett. So this book, I have one hand because I'm holding the baby right now. I think it's over 1,000 pages. I want to say it's in the neighborhood of 1,100 to 1,200 pages. I read this about 3 years ago and loved it. Read the rest of the series. And so with Gone with the Wind, these are probably going to be the two chunksters that I just kind of slowly enjoy. And this has to do with essentially the building of a cathedral. It's way more than that. But this happens in the 16th century, I think, in 16th or 17th century in England. And the building of a cathedral is kind of at the center of it. And the characters in the storyline kind of revolve around that happening. Last but not least, hi. Despite with all these readathons going on, Chelsea Palmer is hosting the Mood Readathon, which is kind of an oxymoron. And basically, the idea is between June 14th to June 17th, just read whatever you want. If you're in the mood to not read, don't read. If you're in the mood to read for 4 days straight, do that. Whatever you want to do. And so I might do like a try chapter tag during that time and just, see what tickles my fancy. Yeah, we'll see. So shout out to Chelsea Palmer for that kind of funny idea. The oxymoronic mood readathon. All right, that's it for my TBR. I would hold up books, but instead I'll hold up a baby. Charlie, can you say bye? Thank you for watching. If you liked what you saw here and you'd like to know how I feel about these books, what I actually do end up reading, let me know. If you have any particular feelings about any of these books, let me know that in the comments as well. For me and Charlie, thanks for watching. See you around the tubes.